Whoa, 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 stop. I know exactly what you guys are gonna say in the comments. But first of all, let me say hi. How are you doing? Okay, if you're wondering if the title of this video is clickbait, it's only like 90% clickbait. You guys are probably thinking, oh, Sabrina, what are you talking about? Of course you're skinny, obviously. Oh, Sabrina, don't put down yourself. You're gorgeous. And let me just say, thanks. I know. Let me just say that this video is intended to be a sequel to my other video called I'm Not a Dishwater Blonde. Seeing as that video did so well, in fact it actually has the most amount of views out of any video on my channel, I figured I would do kind of like a part 2 with I'm Not Skinny. Basically the point of the dishwater blonde video is, okay, I know my hair is kind of technically the color of dishwater, I guess, and I acknowledge that, it's just a fact. However, I don't prefer to use that adjective or like that term to describe my hair, and much like the rest of my body, I know I am very skinny, but I do not prefer that word whatsoever. And before I get into the main point of this video, I have some disclaiming to do. First of all, I cannot stress this enough. I am so grateful to have been born with the body type that I have, and I work out a lot actually. I like to be very fit, and in case you can't tell from the shirt that I'm wearing, I love martial arts. However, I do realize that the main reason why I look the way that I do is because I was just born skinny, and I never want to take that for granted. I recognize that I am very blessed to look the way that I do. I recognize that it is so difficult for so many people to lose weight, and lots of people will need to lose it for health reasons or because they just want to improve their outer appearance, but they really want to improve their outer appearance, but it's really difficult for them. And this isn't me saying, oh my gosh, I have it just as hard as them, if not harder. I don't like being called skinny for a few reasons that I'm gonna get into, but first I want to say that my complaints are not meant to overshadow other people's qualms that they might have about their own body, whether they're considered overweight or obese or really skinny by society's standards. Now, I understand that people, at least some people, would kill to be as skinny as I am, or more so, but the thing is, I see being skinny as a weakness. And that's not me saying that people who are skinny or whatever are inherently weak. That's just my internal portrayal of how I feel about myself sometimes. I mentioned a second ago that I do martial arts, and I feel a little bit of pressure as a female athlete to kind of like prove that I can roll with the guys in sparring. Oftentimes I spar a lot of guys, and a lot of those guys are either really tall or they're super muscular. And the people that I've trained with for years understand who I am. They know that I'm very strong and resilient and that I can take quite a hit. However, every once in a while I have to spar with someone who might not have a lot of background in martial arts. They're new to the sport, and so I fear that when I spar them, I can tell that they're going easy on me and they're being really polite, and I have a sneaky feeling that it's due possibly to my gender as being female, but also partially due to the fact that 9 times out of 10 I weigh less than them. I often fear that I am seen as weak or fragile in the eyes of people who don't know me very well, based, of course, on my physical appearance. And of course, my personality and how I portray myself around other people has a lot to do with how they interact with me, how they treat me, and what their opinions are of me. However, I do feel like being a bit on the small side can help them get the impression that I'm just a doormat and that they can treat me however way they want to. And I forgot to mention another disclaimer, but yes, I will admit that as I was growing up, I never saw people get made fun of for being skinny. I mean, like, I could think of some examples where people kind of poked fun at some guys who were like deemed scrawny, or you know, they're really lean and they didn't really bulk up as much as some other guys. But I will say that as a girl, I never experienced, well, actually, I mean, I did have some people rudely and very bluntly comment on my physical appearance, but I was never bullied for being skinny, and I never saw another girl be bullied for being skinny. However, in American society, girls are often consciously or subconsciously taught that they should try to take up as little space as possible. This gives them the appearance of being docile and submissive compared to their male counterparts. And of course, this is only more exaggerated when you're as small as I am. So let's just say growing up, I was definitely the doormat type of person. And it can be kind of frustrating because I feel like I've gained a lot more confidence since those earlier years. However, I feel like that's partially diminished when people see someone who's like somewhat short and skinny like I am. And something that bothers me, and that I feel particularly sorry that this is the case for some people who are particularly negative about their physical appearance, is when people tell people who are, you know, blessed with being skinny that, oh, you know, you have no reason to dislike yourself. And that might sound, you know, some people might intend that to come off as encouraging, like, don't worry, you look perfect. But really, that's not being helpful at all. In fact, that's actually being quite hurtful, because you're completely disregarding the flaws that skinny person believes that they have. I think that when someone who's more heavier set expresses a desire to change the way they look, that's welcomed with open arms. However, when someone who is smaller says, you know, I don't really like X, Y, or Z about myself, people get angry and can be kind of, you know, on the offensive by saying things like, oh, stop it, you know, you don't know how hard it is for the rest of us. And back to the disclaimer, I know I will never understand what it's like to go through the difficulty of trying to lose weight or anything else like that. But at the same time, I don't think this should be a matter of who has it worse, people who are overweight or people who are skinny. We should all equally acknowledge that everyone has their own insecurities, and telling someone, oh, stop it, you're skinny, you're perfect, really does not help at all. Because if you just constantly keep, and I learned this from experience, if you constantly tell someone that they're fine, that's not effective. That really doesn't do anything at all, because they're still stuck in their ways of believing that they have these flaws and that it's not okay. So whether a person is overweight or if they're skinny, I think it's really important to acknowledge that some people might see a downside to both, but there are, you know, the ups and downs to whatever body shape you are. And I've seen time and time again from personal experience and from interacting with others that no matter what you look like, no matter if people think you're ugly or perfect, I don't know, everyone is still going to pick out flaws within themselves that a lot of people might not even notice. For me personally, I am very grateful that I've gotten to the point in my life where, for the most part, I am very happy with the way I look, and I recognize and accept myself for who I am. Oh my gosh, no, I know this sounds super cheesy, but it's true. I feel like there's still always going to be some things that I'm self-conscious about, or that I wish I could improve or change, but overall I am very much grateful with, you know, the body that I have and where I've gotten to with it today. in general, and by the way, I apologize that this video might have been really unorganized and all over the place. This is exactly what happens when I don't jot down notes and plan out on paper what I'm gonna say and what order I'm gonna say it and how I'm gonna say it before making the video. But the point of me making this video is to kind of reach out to people out there who might feel the way that I feel, but are very much underrepresented and are afraid to speak out about it. I recognize that I might get some backlash, whether it's voiced or whether you decide to keep it to yourself. And I respect that, but I feel like making a controversial video was worth it if it means that I can feel confident and comfortable enough to voice my opinions and hopefully have them be respected and possibly reach out to somebody who feels the exact same way. And so that basically wraps up this video. Sorry that this video and last week's video have been kind of solemn and maybe even a little bit depressing. I will do something more laid back and fun and lighthearted next week, so tune in for that because I have a lot of video ideas coming down the pipeline. I've jotted them all down. I have a huge list of them, and I am super stoked to show you guys what I've been up to. If you like what you see, please hit the like button and subscribe. But most importantly, please share this video with your friends, your peers, your family, your dog, whatever, so that I can continue to grow my channel and maybe even gain 1 subscriber. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.